Hello guys, I'm the RPG Recusant and welcome back to another episode of Final Fantasy 13. We are still journeying through this junkyard and there is going to be way more fights in store. But basically we are just kicking it with Vanille, Sazh and Hope. We're going to go for the paradigm shift of superiority, so Vanille's going to start building that chain. She's already after completely debuffing everybody with both of her debuffs. So we're gonna just enchant our two AI supports, give ourselves a little something. Unfortunately, Vanille doesn't have any more skills, so she's literally doing nothing here. But once we give ourselves Fate, then we're gonna hop over to do a combo of stuff. But you see, the unfortunate thing is because the AI doesn't have any more abilities, she won't cast Deprotect or Deshell at the moment because she's already applied those two debuffs. But if you're able to execute early, you can somehow maybe manage to drag up the stagger bar for an instant KO. And I thought that door would like reopen or whatever, and I'm like, oh, bummer. But Hope stopping the preemptive strike on us by just screaming that the birds are gonna fall down, you know? And what's scary about these guys is the fact that they are synergists of the enemy kind. They do buffs and debuffs on us, so it is not exactly the vibe. But now Vanille's already done all her doings, and it's just about time to start doing some attack. Now, let's hopefully just get there so the Incubus doesn't run out. And with getting all the enemies to allies, I should say, attacking one enemy, they are taken out. And look, Vanille's put up all the debuffs. We've applied our bonus attack for our magic. Bonus strength for our magic, I suppose I should say. But yeah, we're able to just take it out purely because we don't need to stagger. It's just literally they're debuffed, we're buffed. We can just KO really quickly. But you're noticing the commando being missing is a major problem.
A warship from Pulse.
You mean they made it this far?
No, of course not. Not during the war, not since. They might have tried, but none of their forces made it into Cocoon. They only damaged the outer rim. Then the Sanctum's Fal'Cie pushed them back. What'd you, sleep through history?
More or less. So, what's a ship from Pulse doing here?
Once the war was over, people couldn't live near the rim anymore, in places like the Hanging Edge. So the Fal'Cie, they gathered up scrap from Pulse and used it for rebuilding here. This is what was left. A bunch of garbage.
Who'd have thunk? A Pulse Fal'Cie and who knows what mixed in with all the trash.
Who'da thunk?
So not to give spoilers, but Vanille is seeming, you know, just her sad demeanor is curious, shall we say. But we've more of these dancing birds. But yeah, it's curious how Vanille seems to be so, like, less than knowledgeable. Like, earlier on she didn't know who Daisley was. She doesn't know an awful lot of a lot of stuff. So it's just a wee bit curious, I suppose, at this point in the game. We might learn more. Yeah, 5 stars, baby. Not an awful lot to do. We're just moving along, finding fights where we find them. But as I say, these guys in particular, just try disaster them
Guess running's out of the question.
if you can, and try and just auto stagger them, because particularly these incubuses, they don't have that much of a stagger resistance. And once you can get a good volley of all of your mages doing damage, and then 1 or 2 spells from the Saboteur, and he's easily taken out. So let's get some variety up in here, because he does do an awful lot of damage to like all the different characters, you know? But now he's on D-Shell and D-Protect, and now it's just, okay, we gotta just rush these spells through. And then with that, we just rinse through him really quickly, because obviously there's no way he's surviving, you know, all that magic damage. But I was saying earlier, you do notice the commando, like the lack of a commando is really really hitting hard. But as I say, what's gas now is that once you have a preemptive strike, it just makes it so much easier. We don't even need to start like debuffing or anything.
Change in the play.
Can't lie, looking back on this now, I really should have just taken out the pulse work guy. But it's like, yeah, now we have him staggered and gone, whereas if I had to just focus down the pulse work soldier, he would have just been gotten rid of because he was auto staggered. But now it's through the song and dance of building the gauge, getting some debuffs on, and then swapping over to try disaster and trying to now spike the stagger again. And I just wanted to reflect on something Hope said last episode, because I didn't really get into it. But like, obviously all those other poor people, yes, it's so sad, but like, for Hope in general, and like people saying, oh, he's such like a miserable character, blah 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 blah, it's like, he literally went on holidays with his ma, and then it was like, right, the army are now forcing you onto a train and shipping you off to the literal hell on earth that is Pulse, you know?
Just as I was getting used to things.
For people that get out that Hope's like super whiny and everything else, it's just like he literally was on holidays with his mother. All of a sudden, he is like snatched up by the military, sent out to hell on earth. His mother then dies. He's then turned into public enemy number 1 and is now on the run, can't go home, and is walking through grief, and people are like, oh, he's so whiny, oh my god. And it's like, who would not be? Who would not be in that scenario? So just showing you there, when you go into double medic, like the amount of healing just from the passive bonus from the medics giving each other strength and healing. Like, we went from like really dire straits to like near full health on everybody quite quickly. So do not underestimate the power of mimicking roles, you know? But yeah, like, where's Lightning? She literally just ran on ahead. We're lucky we got a preemptive strike on the robot and the bird. And at this point, still don't know why I don't rush the robot, but... or is not the reason why. But look, they're putting debuffs. They put a debuff on Hope. De-protect on Hope. So now this character that's already super strong, like the Pulse soldier, he's already doing so much damage. And now it's like, oh, we are in a bit of trouble now. But what I can say is, even though we don't have like dispelling magic yet, if Hope casted Protect, it would overwrite the De-protect. So that is something else to think about. So on to the Crystarium. We have finished Synergist. And we're going to just tidy up this next row of Ravager. So Overwhelm, boost chain attacks when all allies are targeting the same enemy. So just making Ravager all the more good at its job. And then on we are with Hope. He's now after learning Arrow. And so this is where the trick is. Some characters only learn certain elements and some characters learn passive abilities as well. So it all depends on the character and their Crystarium. So moving Vanille up and around the medic role, getting a bunch more HP. And at least what we know, which is nice, is that once we get Lightning back, which I'm sure we will, I'm sure we'll run into her soon, she's going to have tons of CP that we're going to just be able to flood all into her Crystarium and level her up an absolute bunch. Which I just think is really nice, because sometimes it's like, oh, you spend all your time leveling these characters and now you have to start all over again. It's a bit like catching like a Pokemon in like the middle of the game where you're like, oh, it's great, but like, I have to like train it up. Whereas it's nice now to be able just to, whenever somebody comes back in, like, I'm going to give a spoiler, but like when Snow comes back in, he has so much TP to spend. And he just gets such like a power spike, so at least everyone's like at the same level, you know? But come on guys, yes! Stagger! Woohoo! But let me ask you guys what you guys think would be a good team to have. I particularly like this team. I just feel it suffers from a lack of a commando. But give it a bit more into the episode, and one of them will definitely become a commando. But yeah, what kind of a team comp would you like, and what are you predicting my team comp and kind of playstyle will be? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments, so please put them down. Back into the Crystarium, just gonna try just to fire up some extra bits of skills in leveling and stats. But odds are, if it doesn't work in one, it more than likely won't work in any of them. But I mean, why not? Oh, so close. Look at it. Literally barely didn't meet the expectations. Drop another quick save, and onward we move.
Hey, welcome to the party.
You miss us?
Kill her to smile.
And just like that, Hope is shunted out of the party. Interestingly, Lightning is now an ally. She's never been an ally. Into our first battle with Lightning as an ally. But now we have the Commando, and this will just show you how much easier this all is, you know? It is mad.
Hold it together.
Just with the Commando getting quick hits in succession and just being able to do really, really good damage. And like, as well as that, like Lightning having the Thunder spell, like she just is so quick as a Ravager. It's like, pew, done. You know, she's really quick at like the rapid succession. There's no big like wind up for her spells and stuff. Like it's just like boom, 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 boom. So hopping over here now for a quick bit of healing. And like that, you know, we've been making Lightning a little bit of a machine, a little bit of a monster, so all is good. And now that Lightning's back, we're like, oh, actually, we have CP to spend, and Lightning probably has loads of CP to spend. But I hope you guys enjoy Parties of 2, because we are going to be seeing that quite a bit for quite a while anyway. I do think a part of the problem with this game's at least pacing is that there is an awful lot of combat. Like, even though like it might feel like way more because of the random encounters in other games, it's like you just see them, and it's also because I know I'm going for 100%. I'm kind of like, oh, there's less grinding to do if you just do all the battles as you go along, you know? But yeah, in hindsight, I was like, oh, maybe I should have just skipped some of these. But the leveling I do find to be like the most fun part of it. But yeah, this has very much been that anime filler episode. It's like, we're in the junkyard. We're still in the junkyard. There's not an awful lot to say, and the characters aren't really saying anything to each other. And I think that's the slight weakness with this Final Fantasy cast. There's not as much, like, at least at this point, like, they're not really sharing that much about or with each other, you know? But into the Crystarium we go, getting a bit more magic and HP, and then over to Lightning, who nearly has 1,000. She nearly has 1,000 CP, so just like hold the confirm button and just zoom as much as you wish. Got our strengths into over the hundreds now. And then, yeah, get that to get over 500 HP, like, it's brilliant. Getting Spark Strike, so like lightning damage, but using your strength stat. And then Hope is a good little bit as well, so just move ourselves along a bit more. Then over to Vanille, and once that's finished, we're going to finish up the episode, guys. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Have a good one.